Think your nightmares are just fantasy? Think again. These films weren't born from wild imaginations. They were ripped from real-life terror, molded by madness, and forged in fear. Here are 10 horror films inspired by real events, so disturbing they'll make you question reality itself.
10. The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
What happened to Emily? Possession or something far worse? This chilling courtroom horror is based on the true story of Anneliese Michel, a devout German teen who believed she was possessed by multiple demons, including Lucifer himself. She endured 67 grueling exorcisms over 10 months and eventually died from starvation. The case became a media firestorm. 2 priests and her parents were put on trial. And those unholy screams you hear in the film, they're actual audio from her exorcisms. This isn't just a movie, it's a moral gut punch.
9. A Nightmare on Elm Street.
He's the stuff of nightmares. Freddy Krueger might be fiction, but dying in your sleep? That's horrifyingly real. Director Wes Craven was inspired by chilly reports of Hmong refugees from Laos and Cambodia. Young, healthy men who died in their sleep, terrified by vivid nightmares. The cause? Sudden, unexplained, nocturnal death syndrome. Craven mixed their terror with his own trauma, naming Freddy after a childhood bully. And just like that, a dream demon was born, inspired by deaths no one could explain. 8. Child's Play. Playtime is over. Long before Chucky stabbed his way into pop culture, there was Robert the Doll. Gifted to artist Robert Eugene Odo in the early 1900s, the doll was said to move on its own, whisper at night, and change expressions when no one was looking. Even after Odo's death, strange occurrences followed the doll. To this day, Robert sits locked in a glass case in Key West, and museum staff say if you mock or photograph him without permission, bad luck follows. Still think dolls are harmless? 7. Scream. Before Ghostface terrorized teens with prank calls, Danny Rolling was slaughtering students in real life. Known as the Gainesville Ripper, Rolling murdered 5 college students in 1990.
Posing their bodies and recording chilling confession tapes.
He claimed he was driven by demons and wanted to be remembered. Writer Kevin Williamson saw a documentary on Rolling and thought, what if the killer called first? What if the horror was watching us? 6. Psycho. Should a boy's best friend be his mother? Norman Bates wasn't just a character, he was an echo of Ed Gein, the real-life killer who inspired a generation of horror villains. A reclusive farmer in the 1950s, Wisconsin, Gein lived alone with the memory of his domineering, ultra-religious mother, Augusta, who preached that all women were evil except herself. When she died, Ed couldn't let her go. He preserved her bedroom like a shrine and began digging up female corpses to create a woman suit to literally become her. His twisted devotion became the blueprint for Psycho. Gein only confessed to 2 murders, but his ghoulish obsession spawned Leatherface, Buffalo Bill, and Hannibal Lecter. 5. Poltergeist. Flying furniture, exploding bottles, phantom knocks. In 1958, the Herman family of Long Island experienced a series of unexplainable events in their home, watched by police, scientists, and clergy. Holy water bottles popped open on their own. Objects levitated. The film Poltergeist drew from this chaos, but the real curse may have been on set. Multiple cast members died tragically during and after production. Coincidence? Or something still lurking in the shadows? 4. The Amityville Horror. 1 year after Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered 6 of his family members in their sleep, the Lutz family moved into the same house and fled in 28 days. They reported green slime, cold spots, mysterious voices, and a demonic pig with glowing red eyes. Skeptics called it a hoax, but the legend of 112 Ocean Avenue became one of horror's most iconic hauntings, with books, films, and lawsuits still swirling decades later. 3. The Conjuring. They were the world's most famous paranormal investigators, Ed and Lorraine Warren. In 1971, the Warrens were called to a secluded farmhouse in Rhode Island. The Perron family claimed a spirit named Bathsheba, rumored to be a Satanist, was haunting the land. They heard whispers, saw chairs levitate, felt hands that weren't there. The case became the launch pad for one of horror's biggest franchises, but the Warrens maintained until their deaths, this wasn't fiction, it was real evil. 2. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Chainsaw-wielding Leatherface may be a cinematic creation, but Ed Gein's legacy cuts deeper than fiction. When police raided Gein's home in 1957, they discovered grotesque artifacts straight out of hell. Skin masks,
A belt made of human nipples.
a chair upholstered in flesh, a lampshade made of faces, lips strung on a window shade cord. Gein's House of Horrors proved one thing: sometimes the scariest killers are real. 1. The Exorcist. Before Regan's pea soup possession terrified the world, there was Rolling Doe, a 14-year-old boy in 1949 who allegedly became possessed by using a Ouija board. According to priests, Roland's bed shook, objects flew, and Latin phrases appeared carved into his body. Jesuit priests documented multiple exorcisms with medical professionals present. What they saw? Still debated. What they felt? Pure evil. The Exorcist didn't just scare audiences, it redefined horror forever and reportedly caused mass fainting and hysteria in theaters. So from possessed dolls to exorcised children, suburban goats to killers in human skin, these horror films remind us truth is more terrifying than fiction. Now subscribe to First Curiosity for more spine-tingling breakdowns.